Hello, everyone. You're listening to the award-winning To Hull and Back podcast, proudly sponsored by Old Zoological Bar in Hull. I'm your host, Nathaniel, joined by Joe, Christian, and Will to discuss Chelsea in the FA Cup, two torrid performances, as you just said, Will, and some animal or something that happened. Was it some sort of, was it a rat or like a like a really small, was it a kitten or I can't remember because no one's been talking about it. It's not been on the news and there's not been endless AI images of it. And quite frankly, I'm not livid and really, really wound up about it, actually.
Agreed, that fox that interfered on the pitch was incredible.
Yeah. Well, been probably.
I thought it was a deer.
Wasn't it? No, it was a tiger. It was a tiger, wasn't it?
Stupid deer jokes to my dad the whole time.
Yeah. It was, of course,
the squirrel. The squirrel.
I suppose that's the most interesting thing to have happened this week. I mean, I don't think it is, but
no, it is.
I do.
It's in the zeitgeist. That's what it's got on, BBC.
A pretty boring 0-0 draw, and then a poor performance against Bristol where we were pretty shit. No. It was the highlight of the week.
Yeah,
even transfer deadline day didn't throw up any surprises in the usual City.
Actually, no. Transfer deadline day was lovely.
It was great to not have any. To be honest, the biggest deadline day surprise was Christian's haircut, as the comments have just said there. I mean, Brandon Williams went, which everyone saw coming a mile off, and David Akintola's still here.
Yeah, he might still be going to Slovenia. I think that was, I don't know whether that's a rumour, but that was mentioned in the press conference that they're just trying to find whatever club or whatever country's transfer window is still open so they can just get rid of him. But I think there's space in the squad for him, isn't there? Must be. I know he knows his own spot, I think. He's sensible enough to know that at least.
He's the vibesman.
Exactly. He is the
transfer window in Slovenia, by the way, closes on Sunday. It's exactly a week today. So there is still time to get him to Maribor.
Yeah.
There's time for him to come on against Chelsea and smash in that 90th minute winner.
Oh.
See, how does registration work actually for
surely you know?
I don't know.
I was going to say, you were the one that we were going to turn to, yeah?
I assume because we register them with the EFL, it's different. If they're our player, we can just use them.
I guess. I don't know how it works.
As much sort of flack as he takes, would Chelsea know how to deal with David Akintola? Probably
yes.
not.
Very easily.
How many David Akintolas?
That is it. That is it. I never thought would be asked.
How many David Akintolas has Malo Gusto, Mark Cucurella, Jorel Hato, Wesley Fofana dealt with in the last couple of years? The answer is none.
Yeah, it's possible. Well, we're jumping ahead here, but I'm just going to launch straight into it. As we're just bypassing the two matches, talking about the Squirrel and the Chelsea game. But I've prepared.
Well, straight away, the Blackburn game, you can just ignore completely because it was just a boring game that.
Oh, yeah.
Not Blackburn. I mean, I'm about
Watford.
That's how bad it was. I forgot who we were playing.
Well.
Pretty bad. But yeah, the combined lineup for audio listeners, it's the Chelsea squad and Akintola, who's replacing. I guess he's replacing Garnacho because Garnacho's awful. So I couldn't possibly. I think when you got a squad of that quality, you can afford an Akintola. So he's in there.
Charlie Hughes robbed it.
I can't believe you've not put Delap up front.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's João Pedro, isn't it? I didn't specify which one it was. Obviously, the one that actually plays for one of the two clubs. Yeah. This has started very unserious.
5 minutes.
We usually get to this after about an hour, but it's just one of those weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, let's say the Watford game was pretty poor. We never looked like anywhere close to being good enough to get anything out of that, really. I mean, I think Watford were probably unlucky to not get something from that game, and more from that game. That loser should have at least scored one. And it was a shit game. That's all.
It was very poor. We looked tired here. We've looked tired for quite a while, to be fair. I know we've had a lot of wins recently, but we still do look tired in every match, and it's just kind of got to us this week. I think it looked like that against Stoke, and then of course the Watford game was postponed. We had the 2 weeks with the FA Cup, and then we went on that run. So hoping that they can bounce back in the same way.
Possibly could happen again.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Look, with respect to saying a bit of a run, those 3 games, I would still say, even though we won against Swansea, we didn't look convincing at all.
Especially second half.
Exactly, the second half. And then obviously Rovers game, I mean, Watford was just a ball fest, absolute ball fest. And you can just see the incline, and it must be, I don't know, the amount of chopping and changing, the tightness. But I also think Bristol game, you looked at that lineup and you were thinking, hey up, but how is he going to set it up when the lineup came out? And I think, I'm not being negative when I say this, but I do think Sergei got it a bit wrong.
Well, the result says he got it a bit wrong, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I expected McNair to be the central centre-half, and then he'd shuffle forward into midfield on the attack and leave Egan and Hughes as a conventional centre-back duo while Coyle and Giles pushed on, with McNair sitting, doing the sort of Amir Lundstrom role. Mm-hmm. As it turns out, McNair did play quite well, I thought. I thought he gave a good account of himself in what was a very tough game for him to make his debut. But I think in putting an extra man at the back against a team that hasn't won in however many games it is, we lost something in midfield. And I think without Matt Crooks, our midfield is so unbalanced.
Yep.
And Slater was everywhere as always, but he just had no support in there. Lundstrom, never thought I'd say this, but I'd rather start Amir, because since Lundstrom's come back from injury, he just looks so leggy. And
he looked out of place. He looked completely out of place.
Exactly, out of place. And I was surprised. I don't know. Lundstrom didn't come off at halftime, did he? That was Giles and Joseph. I was surprised Lundstrom even lasted 60. But
yeah, that was it. Even the substitutions were a little bit questionable as well. When Giles came off, I was expecting Joseph to come off at halftime.
Well, Giles was never going to play more than an hour anyway.
No, but bang on halftime was a bit of a questionable one. I expected Joseph to come off for obvious reasons of, though, look, we all love how much effort he puts in. Every touch was away from his foot. He couldn't control the ball once. I did not see him control a pass. It was either every time that ball hit his foot, it was 20 yards away from him every touch, and it was one of those. I was like, oh my god, no, you're a lost cause up there. And so I didn't agree with it at all with Giles, because to begin with, don't get me wrong, I was expecting the 60th minute, like you say, Will, but Giles brought in that cross early doors. I know he only was very limited to the amount of service Giles actually got. Will, you muted if you were saying something.
That's all he did, though.
But that's all he did, yeah. But because he was limited to what he received from everybody else, it was all down the right-hand side, a lot of it, which didn't really help considering Coyle looks extremely leggy, and the one player that usually drifts out there from the attack as well, Joe Gelhardt. What?
Oh, Gelhardt, right? I didn't even know he was on the pitch second half.
I did, because he kept on losing the ball every time it hit him.
And he was not good.
It genuinely took me until like 89 minutes to say to my dad, oh shit, Gelhardt's on the pitch.
Yeah.
He does look right after his injury, does he?
Yeah, it wasn't a good performance. So somewhat's going off there. Obviously, coming back from the injury, that touch, that control that he had, that drive, that's really missing. And I can understand what we're trying to do a little bit, because we were debating if they are doing the 3 up the front or they're doing 2 up front and they kind of cam behind. And it was actually both on the attack and defence. However we shaped up at some stages, it was the 2 strikers up top and obviously the cam in behind. And then all of a sudden it was the 3 up top. And kind of what happened when we did the 3, that gulf in gap and space of no midfield was unreal. Like I said, Lunny was nowhere to be found. I actually felt sorry for Reegs. I really did actually feel sorry for Reegs.
Massively, because Regan was
work he had to do.
Regan was his normal self. He was just running. He covered every blade of grass as always. When we made changes, because like as you say, Chris, Coyle was, and I think it's not just Coyle alone in this.
No, it's not. No,
the whole team has played Saturday, Tuesday for the last couple of weeks, and they are finished. They are shattered. And even though they've not earned it, I would give them an extra day off on Monday just to try and, bring morale up a little bit. They can spend time with the families. The new signings can go house hunting or whatever and get settled in. But yeah, it's as simple as that. They look absolutely shattered, and a nice rest before we play Chelsea is much needed, and I'm glad they'll get it. Saw a couple of comments there, which I'm just going to talk about. I know Will was pulling a face at one as well. Hirakawa couldn't play.
Yeah.
So there's a reason Hirakawa played 90 plus minutes on Tuesday night, because being on loan from Bristol City, he cannot play. He was at the game, decked out in his Hull City tracksuit, obviously, sat behind the dugout, but he cannot play. And I saw a comment as well about Toby Collier. And it's early days. He came on in a game that was horrendous to come into. But the early signs of just energy, putting himself about, were decent. So hopefully he's a good help to the midfield problems with, like I said, that energy and just being able to help out Regan Slater in that there's someone else in there as well, if it's a midfield too, who can cover as much ground as he can.
Yeah, he looked like he could run, couldn't he? Of course, Slater can, and that's where he was playing. He was playing right back at the end of the game. But Slater's going to be exhausted because he has to do the running for the rest of them.
Just on Slater at right back, actually, I've seen some tweets about it saying, take Coyle out, put Slater at right back because we look so much better. Hang on. We've got one fit right back and Regan Slater is at the minute our best performing midfielder. So you want to take him out of midfield when we're playing the Club World Champions next to put him out of position at right back against a manager who first tried putting him at right back.
Have we not got to fourth playing Coyle left full back either?
Yeah, and Slater, you could argue he's our best player right now, let alone just the best midfielder. So
consistently, anyway.
Yeah, we've lost 2 in 12. If Coyle was so awful, you can't just blame him as soon as we lose a game. Like, come on, haven't we learned by now?
Bloody Richie Smallwood making us lose that game yesterday.
What?
Scapegoats.
Oh, well, yeah. Marshall, 3 clear goalkeeping errors yesterday as well.
That bloody Callum Elder at left back. How dare he?
Kills to have Callum Elder back in the squad. Good backup option. Probably needs to be right-footed, but I think a lot of them are tired. The 2 weeks will help. I think Hirakawa, he can't actually play against Chelsea because he played for Watford in the cup. So I guess
no, he can't. I think got changed for the FA Cup.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
Hence why Matty Jacob played. So the rule is basically you can play for a second team in the FA Cup if you've not already featured in that round of the competition for another team. So if we signed, say, Kumas, and he'd played for Liverpool in the first round, he couldn't. No, sorry, let me reword. If we'd signed Kumas and he'd already played for Birmingham in the 4th round of the FA Cup, he couldn't play for us against Chelsea.
Okay, but that's kind of a rare scenario, isn't it?
It is
to
a
be
very
signed
rare
over
scenario.
the course of a weekend.
You can't play in the same round of the competition for 2 different teams. That's the cup tie rule now.
Oh, okay. That's fairly pointless, really. Well, good.
It is, isn't it?
I mean, the result is not really like a major concern with me going into the Chelsea game, just as it was against Blackburn. Again,
it's been 1 loss since New Year's Day. It's the first loss in 7. Still 7 points clear of the relegation zone. Get out.
Oh,
the 7th place. We're 7 points clear of 7th place, which I'm more bothered about than I know because of where we were. It was easy to go on about the top 2 and how close we were getting to them. I'm more bothered about getting further away from 7th place and keeping that gap and maintaining that gap. So as long as that gap stays, I'm fine with it. I can live with it. It's how City responds to it in the league. Because last time they lost the game in the league against Stoke, they then won the next 3 or 4 in a row. So it's how they respond to it.
Well, I've been trying to get that message across to people that I think if we beat Watford or maybe beat Bristol, especially with Coventry not winning yesterday, then maybe you can kind of. I don't think we're good enough to be consistent enough to be better than a Middlesbrough, Coventry, or an Ipswich. I don't think top 2's. It's not impossible, but I don't think it's likely in any sort of real sense.
Likely.
So when people are saying, "Oh, well, surely we want Derby to get a point," or we don't want Ipswich to win against Derby yesterday. No, I want the teams below us. So Millwall beating Wrexham, I think, helps because you just get more points ahead of someone.
Chris more of a gap,
Exactly.
Yeah, I was fine with Ipswich winning yesterday. Even though of the other 2, I was fine with Ipswich winning yesterday because it keeps Derby further back.
Yeah. The way we play and the way we've played over the last few games, I think you could theoretically have lost almost all of them except Preston if chances go different ways. So I don't really think that 1 defeat in the last 6 is anything to be sniffed at.
It's a result.
In the other ones.
It's a result that's sort of been coming, hasn't it? We've rode our luck a lot recently, and that was
the
always
last 31 games.
I just expected that to come to an end against Chelsea, not the week before. I still don't think we're the worst team everyone has played in this league or whatever. I just think we are very good at riding luck, and we have got, as Danny McDonald says in chat, we've got enough credit in the bank to have a few off days and still make the top 6. So
get away with it a bit,
we can get away
average.
Because of how many points we've accumulated so far. We can get away with off days. But from Watford as an example, it's a game in hand, and getting a point out of that, getting a point out of a game in hand, is really not bad. Like the Sheffield Wednesday result as well, given how we played, that's quite a decent point. It's ludicrous to say it because it's against Sheffield Wednesday, who would have 5 points if they didn't have any deductions. But, that's an example of how we rode our luck, I suppose. But yeah, Watford, decent point because it's a game in hand. Take it, move on.
Clean sheet. And I think Watford and Bristol are good teams. They're up there. We lost to them last time. At certain times of the season, they've been in the playoffs and they're good on the ball. You look at the 2 games or the 4 games coming up, I guess. Millwall are obviously a good team, but
I thought Watford was very good.
Exactly, the way they control the ball, and we're not very good on the ball, are we? We prefer not to have much possession. The next few games they're not exactly teams that lump it all the time, but I don't think they have the quality in possession as Watford and Bristol do. So they might help us a little bit more, I would say, especially Derby.
Liam Rosenior.
I don't care
all the time.
I mean, the last time I was saying we should throw the cup. I don't think it's possible to throw a game against Chelsea, because I think even if we play really well, we could well still lose, because Rossini's won every single game since going in there, except against Arsenal, who are the best team in the world right now. Other than us, I guess. So maybe we'll be okay. But I don't really care, so long as we don't get any injuries. I'm just thinking ahead to the league, but we're going to be in the playoffs again for the next 2 weeks to enjoy that. That's something, because I think there are some teams playing next week, so we could drop. Well, Millwall will have to go and beat Sheffield Wednesday away. They probably will do that. But we'll have another game on hand against some of the other teams that go ahead of us. So, yeah, no reason to panic at all, is there? And that's kind of the point of having a 9-point lead. Yeah, go on.
That game in hand would be against Ipswich, and getting a point out of that would again be a fantastic point.
We'll go there and win. That's just what we do, isn't it? Away to win. But the only thing that
we needed 5 away games, not 5 home games.
Yeah, well, exactly. I was just about to say, these home games, this run of 4, again, not including Chelsea, is kind of going not as I hoped, but as I sort of, not exactly as I expected, but as I feared, in that, I mean, we've won as many home games as we have away this season, but ever so slightly recently has kind of switched. We were really good at home at the start of the season, and then, the last 10 games or so, more of them have been away from home, especially against the teams higher up in the league. So, and you just get flashbacks to last year, really, when we so struggled at home, and that's the thing that concerns me. And it happened 2 years ago. We got a big win at Southampton, and then we went on a poor run, and at home, and it's.
I mean, it doesn't help when the atmosphere is absolutely shite.
Well, look, that is the reason I was enjoying the SQUIRREL.
I'm willing to say that happily. The atmosphere is very part of the game.
I enjoyed the SQUIRREL.
Right.
That's the only thing that got people excited. I'm like, we're in an embargo. They're doing so incredibly well. Why can't we have the atmosphere good from minute 1 in back the lads? Because they need it. And
I'll be very interested to see. I'll be very interested to see how the atmosphere works against Chelsea, with there being a flow from the ones who would normally be in the north stand, shuffled round into the northeast corner. Will that make the sound flow around the stadium more? Because one of the reasons the atmosphere has absolutely fallen apart is because they've constantly moved the northward stand and the east stand all the time, and that has just killed what atmosphere there was in those areas. Yeah. And
I agree. You're right.
Poor.
Well, look, for me, growing up all the way from, and look, I can go back to Booth 3 if I wanted to talk about Kempton and East End, and all the way through up to where we are now with the MK. That kind of northeast corner for me was always like the powerhouse voice, and it got everybody in the East Stand kind of brought together with it. Now with the split between on the north and the east and the away fans in the middle, that's for me is when the atmosphere died at the stadium. That is from me personally. That from my witnessing, that's when the atmosphere in the stadium died. I think it needs to be reshuffled back to how it originally was, because it worked. But we'll wait and see down the line if it does change. Because, like I say, if it's going to be that way during Chelsea, let's see if it is. Is it going to be just hyped up and we're going to be screaming a lot more because Chelsea's there? Or will the crowd actually be a heck of a lot more because it has gone back to kind of that northeast-east kind of corner? So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But for me personally, that northeast corner needs to kind of come back to the home fans, just to get everybody together, atmosphere-wise, anyway.
But if Adrian had his way, the away fans would be in a little box suspended 3 feet above the pitch or something like that, and the whole stadium would be Hull City fans. Because that's the Turkish way.
Upper West, there you go. Chuckle up there.
Yeah. I do think it's a modern problem, though. I think a lot of the modern stadiums aren't built for the atmosphere. You know, the ones you talk about that are good are Selhurst Park and Fratton Park and anything with park in the name, really. It's not these modern sort of bowls. And I think, you know, every time you watch a game on the TV, and of course it's the same with the fans coming here, but anytime you watch any game, all the away fans sing all the time is, you know, football in the library anywhere you go, and the City fans sing it when they go anywhere. So I don't really think it's just an us thing. I think there are some you know, teams, because of the stadium or how well they're doing, maybe have a great atmosphere, but I think it's just
there's definitely an element of the gentrification of football to it.
Yeah. Well, it's not good that anytime you do watch a game on the TV, they do everything in their power to try and ruin the atmosphere or play it down, you know, sorry for the bad language and all that sort of stuff, when really you want people to get excited and passionate. So, you know, I think towards the end of the season, I mean, it could be nervy, you know, especially if we're still in a promotion race, but hopefully atmosphere, like the Ipswich game 2 years ago was big, and I remember Preston was a pretty good one, but it can get a bit nervy.
Yeah,
but,
we've proven that we can.
Yeah.
It's just it's weird that we're having a season like we are so good. The atmosphere is just
still nervy.
Just off.
We're still nervous because we know that it can happen, that you can switch at any moment.
The expectation has gone up. The last 4 wins, it really has, hasn't it? Because we're well over halfway through the year now. It's kind of getting to the business end, and we're thinking, oh, how many wins can we tick off? I'm doing that. So you know, for context, maybe 74. So 5 wins and no, is it? Yeah, 5 wins, 6 wins and 2 draws from 15 might do it, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So it'll be nervy, but yeah, the expectation's gone up, and there were a lot of complaints on Twitter. But and I get it, because we want the team to succeed. But the only real impact we can really have on the team is to get the atmosphere going. And when the squirrel is running circles around everyone on the pitch, we haven't really painted a lovely picture of the event, because of course some people might not have been.
Because it's been everywhere. That's why.
Squirrel was fantastic. Before we get onto it, I just want to say Squirrel was fantastic, but it says a lot when fans are more willing to cheer that on than cheer the team on.
Yeah,
constantly.
Yeah,
and you can say, oh, they're not playing well. When we've played well, the atmosphere has not been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And before you start saying anything, Chris and Nathaniel are towards the south end of the east stand. Will's in the press box and I'm in the south, so we're not in charge of atmosphere here.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to cheer, for the record.
I'm in the West Upper stand. I'm the only person who chants in the West Upper stand.
Oh, are you in the West Upper now?
Moved.
I'm in the West Upper. Yeah, I have a good view of everything, and I wish the only reason
he's got enough money for it, hasn't he?
True.
Why?
The only reason I'm there is because my stupid friends who are stupid, who didn't want to commit to. That's the only game I've enjoyed the atmosphere of was the first game of the season when we were in the lower West Stand, when it was a little bit better, closer to the pitch, and we were playing Oxford. We beat Oxford, and then was it even? Yeah, it was. I think
that was the first home game.
No, I can't remember what side it was, but I'm sure it was West Stand as opposed to East. But they waited to say whether they wanted to get a membership with me, because they didn't want to get a membership by myself, because I'd be all alone with 20,000 other people. So then they I need a phone ban for the North Stand, says Chris. Probably need a phone ban everywhere. But what was I saying? Oh, yes. The only spots where there were 3 seats to be members and a good spot with a good view, not on like near the corner flag, was in the West Upper, so that's why I'm there. I used to like going there when I was a kid because you got a good view, but as an adult, I likes to shout abuse at the players, mostly the opposition, but sometimes their own. And at the Squirrel, then I like to be in the lower down. So next year we'll be lower down, I'm sure, in the East. But no, I have a good view of everything, and I saw the Squirrel run round. So it scored a hat trick, didn't it? Was it 2 for us and 1 for Bristol? He ran the goal.
It went past Panda once, and into the back of the net. Like at the south stand end, I had such an unbelievable view of the squirrel incident as the poor groundsman, Aaron head groundsman, and the other two guys whose names I unfortunately don't know, but they had, put it this way, one of them got his steps in, that's for sure.
Yeah. They'll need some. Well, the ground staff have come under a lot of pressure and a lot of criticism recently. I think the last thing they needed was extra work.
A squirrel.
But it came on.
Yeah.
I mean, the ref stopped the game for, was it like 5 or 6 minutes, and then it went off, and they were chasing it around, and then it came back on again a few times. But yeah,
it was looking for crooks.
Yeah, true. Did we mention the Norwich one from 2 years ago? We talked about that before the podcast started, but the reason I'm extra angry
2 years. It was a year ago.
It was last year.
When Norwich scored at our place last year, they gave that
In the 1-1 draw, yeah.
Literally interfered with play and was running up the pitch with the player who got the assist. They'll allow that,
Well, that's the consistency.
Exactly. I'm just in a bad mood. I'm in a bad mood, and I think
15th of February, 2025.
The game is essentially has 10 minutes of added time, and let's be honest, about 9 minutes of those added on were the squirrel.
Yeah.
Also, the ref, Ollie Langford, there must have been at least 3 minutes of stoppages in those 10 minutes, and he still blew bang on 100.
Yeah.
And no yellow card for the horrible tackle on Jacob at the end.
For me, like with the referee,
CFL refs, all the refs are just rubbish.
A lot of people
It's
might say,
unfair.
the ref was shit. The ref was shit. Although we were shit, the ref wasn't great either. Yeah, but I thought for 80 minutes, I didn't notice the referee. And
I did.
I didn't really.
I did too.
Second half, especially. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, as fans, we're all a bit attentive, and we're like, "Oh, come on!" And any whistle, we all think it's going against us. It's ref bias, I can shove that out my head. We
benefited from refs quite a lot this season.
Yeah, exactly. I can shove that out my head, and I'm not thinking that. But like, say the tackle. I mean, Ollie McBurney's push in the back to hand. I mean,
I think I'd have to see it closer up, to be honest with you.
It was for me that tackle and the foul. There was one where it got swung in. He was just looking at the person kicking the ball, even though I've forgotten who it was crossing it in. I just remember going, why is he looking at that when all of it's kicking off over there? Surely, if he's got no one around him and he's got the ball, you don't need to squarely watch him. You need to watch the play that's building up and all the pushing and shoving right next to you. When we were talking 10, 12 yards, and it's all kicking off right next to you, but yet you're just watching the guy with the ball with nobody around him who's about to cross it. It was obvious he was about to cross it. So why are you looking elsewhere? I think his awareness, I think his linesmen were god-awful as well. I don't think I saw a flag go up for anything apart from when it was right on their tippy toes. There was no kind of cohesion from any of them. Look, we know EFL refs are absolutely horrific. We all know it, and we just had one of those refs again. Would it have changed the game if we got the penalty? It's a point. But
other than that, it's a point,
yeah. But other than
point
that,
we probably wouldn't have deserved.
Yeah.
Which again comes back to grinding stuff out.
Yeah, it does. And I just
think
today, I mean yesterday. I think yesterday it was a bit of a game too much, like we say. I think the energy levels are low. I think for the next 2 weeks, Ivor needs to do no goalkeeping training. All he needs to do is learn on how to kick a ball. That's all he needs to do for 2 weeks. Look, he can already stop a ball with his hands. He can already dive across his box. He can already grab it.
Yeah,
he can do all that. his distribution is horrific. If anything, it's the worst in the league.
I might as well bring him up now because we're going to bring him up. Right. Liam Rossini did not want Panda because his distribution was poor. That's the main reason he didn't want to use it.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest here. While Panda had a fantastic season last season, player of the season, he's a good shot stopper. The reason he didn't want him, it was correct. He's dog shit at passing the ball out.
Yeah.
Well, for that reason, yeah. I mean,
and in a team like the seniors where he relied on that sort of football, of course he's not going to pick him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the best shot stoppers in the league. He is. He's one of the best shot stoppers. But he's
he's great at that. He's fantastic at commanding his boxing shots. Yeah.
So for 2 weeks, don't give him goalkeeping training. Just give him kicking and distribution training. That is it. 2 weeks. That's all you need to do.
I would imagine. Surely, I imagine Phillips will be playing the Chelsea game, won't he?
I think so.
I'd hope so.
He would deserve so, wouldn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Given how he played against Blackburn, I think he would deserve it against Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's be honest. Even if you put the Blackburn performance aside and just look at Wrexham, was he brilliant against Wrexham? No. But are we going to be up against it against Chelsea anyway? Yes. So will it really matter? Probably not. Just stick him in, give him a run out, and then not play him again until Norwich at home, when hopefully we've got playoffs guaranteed and we can just
aiming for the title. Oh, yeah. Well, I think they need to play a lot of the new signings and some of the players that haven't played quite so much. Because, I know it would be good to win, but it's Chelsea. Let me get more. I've just remembered.
Strong, though. I think you've still got to go strong, though. I think you've got to play. Like, look what happened, or look what was happening before we last played Chelsea. We were in a bit of the slump before relegation was starting, but Chelsea was like, yeah, we can do this. We saw Malik Wilks. We saw Martin Samuelson. We had Bowen and Grzycki on the pitch at the same time. I know you pull a face, Nathaniel, but Wilks and Samuelson were the new signings at that point that we wanted to see. So I'd start Collier.
Yeah.
I'd give a start to Kumas. Kumas on one wing, Hirakawa on the other, McBurney through the middle.
Would you start Giles?
Start McNair.
Right. Just quickly there, Kumas, who essentially his cross was what created the second goal yesterday. So stop shitting on him because he had one poor performance when everyone had a poor performance.
Yeah.
Like everyone was doing after Blackburn. So I had Blackburn. Watford, I did it again.
I like everything Kumas has done so far.
Because he was getting...
Throwing that out there.
Yeah, him and Dow were much better against... Who did we even play yesterday?
Bristol.
They were a lot better. Dow in
Watford,
particular, but Kumas created the goal. Kumas did not play well against Watford, but I think that's kind of why
nobody played well against Watford.
Exactly. He's young and he's raw, and it was the second match, and it's kind of different.
And he's not championship ready.
Exactly, all true. So, he did do better against Bristol. So already he's probably played better, or played well for us more times than he did for Birmingham, according to those fans. So,
So would you stick with Kumas then for this Chelsea game, or would you actually think, let's get Miller out because Kumas might be slipping in that position a bit more for the league?
Nah, because I'd play the new signings. McNair would stay at centre back alongside Hughes.
I think Miller not starting against Bristol's might play.
Maybe.
For me though, I'd go Hirakawa and Kumas as your two wingers, just so we can see a bit more of them. But then again, just to play devil's advocate to myself, do you go full strength just to see how you match up against top Premier League opposition? Because ultimately, that's where we want to be at the end of the year.
What, losing to Chelsea in the Premier League
We've just
next
been
year?
mentioning all the stuff about the team. We've been mentioning all the stuff about the team looking tired. You can't go full. If you think the team looks tired, why would you go full strength?
Good point.
Well, I would wrap McBurney up in cotton wool as far away from the stadium as possible. He can help Panda with his kicking practice.
We've not spoken about the goal that we've scored this week. Like, Slater set McBurney up unbelievably well for that, and the finish was superb.
Yeah. Oh, it was lovely.
The finish was absolutely superb. We were up against it in the game, and that's what happens when you've got Ollie McBurney up front in the Championship. He can do something like that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And, I mean, Vipotnik scored 2 today, but McBurney's, what, is he second or third? I think he's the second top goal scorer in the league now. So, you know, he's right up there for free signing. It's just one of the... It's the best signing in the league this year on a free, absolutely. And he's almost at his 15 as well. So hopefully he keeps scoring after that. But that's the target that was set for him. He's going to get to that easily. And, that was one of his best goals, I thought. Great finish with the goalkeeper's legs. And, it was a good turn. And it was a good goal, worked through the middle as well. So, yeah, very happy about that.
Yeah, it was a good goal. Yeah, it was an enjoyable watch. I mean, listen to some people saying that Hull were bad throughout the full 90. I mean, I've got to disagree. I think for the first 20 minutes, I thought we actually controlled the game quite nicely.
We started well.
I don't recall Bristol really having anything concrete. Definitely for the first 10 minutes, I don't recall them touching the ball. And yeah, they grew into it, and then all of a sudden, 2 goals come out of nowhere. I agree, before the half time, and we just let our foot off the gas. But
I think they were getting in front. I think they were getting on top before we scored. I think we kind of surprised them a little bit by scoring. I think they were starting to get on top, and it kind of came against the run of play at the time, and it sort of stopped them for a minute, and after about 5 minutes, they got back on top again. And City didn't really show up, for me, until like the last 10 minutes. As soon as they got that one goal back, which was a bit fluky, I suppose, good crossing, but the keeper does spill. But until then, from that point on, City looked like they were actually going for it, but it took until then. It shouldn't take until that point.
Yeah, no, you're right. It did happen. What's in the box? It's a new garden awning. Just a nice big, nice open, just so you know. So when I get the outside fire, gunning for the summer, just after we come back and I'm half gut from the playoff final and things like that, I can enjoy a nice beer outside, just so you know. But anyway, but no, after
Squirrel's using it for shelter.
He'll be using it for shelter. That was probably, you're right, about the turning point when Bristol just started taking over possession just before our goal. So I thought it was a brilliant time that we did actually get our goal, because I was hoping it would take the sting out of Bristol City. Unfortunately, completely different effects really happened, which I didn't expect. I would have thought we would have kind of pushed on a bit more, but for Bristol to kind of regroup together, and I hate him so much, but I want to slap his face at times. But Scott Twine was very he encouraged Bristol a lot. I felt he was very encouraging to the rest of his teammates, and I think that was one of the reasons why they did keep going and sped on so well in the first half, because of the way he was screaming at them and trying to encourage his team, which was really nice.
Atkinson bothers me more.
Well, true. That is
because he's a local lad. How dare he score against his local club?
It happens. We all know it happens. But yeah, the game, I think it's one of those chalk it off. Sergei got it wrong. Players look tired. We just weren't set up the way we should have been set up for that kind of game. And then once again, we've seen the similarities in kind of poor performances from the same kind of people. And I'm not going to say they crap every game, I'm just referring to the instances of the poor distribution, the tired legs kicking in from Louis Coyle. And then we're now highlighting, again, I guess it's a week in, week out, when players are coming back from injury. The kind of poor touch and kind of poor play from likes of Joe Gallagher, for instance. He's a name that we haven't brought up with this, but it's kind of, look, everyone who's coming back from injury is just off it a little bit at the moment. And it's sort of we're going to have to face, I think, these 2 weeks. And as we're saying, now we're playing Chelsea, I don't think we go all kids, but I don't think we go all out either. We've got to find a nice, comfortable balance, because at the end of the day, even though we're saying we're going with the kids or go with the kind of the rotational squad, you've got to remember these guys still play with each other during the league, in and out, chopping and changing regardless, because we've had to this season, and we're going to for the remainder of the season. So it's just finding the correct balance. I think Ollie McBurney, personally, I think should still start, because if you do want to get a result, he's genuinely our only goal scorer that's kind of can score goals at the moment in my head. I just don't see one coming from Joseph at the moment with how bad his touch is, but I do also see Joseph running around like a headless chicken, trying to break down play and not giving Chelsea a second on the ball. So this is a Sergei skill that he has to kind of pull one out the back out the bag, and get it right for this game. I just hope he doesn't go too defensive like he did against Bristol, because I would have thought the 3 at the back would have been a really, really good tactic. But it wasn't right with having McNary playing out on the right hand side of the back 3. He definitely needs to be in the middle. And I think without Tree, I think he would be actually, technically, if we do play 4 at the back, would be the good player to sit in front of the back 4 and kind of take over that role that Crooksy would usually do. Because I don't think we've looked right since Crooks has been out.
Yeah, he's a big miss. Not only because he's big, but he's an important player. Well, you're muted.
Yeah, he's the most important player in the midfield. City. He's got the best balance.
Yeah.
He plays much better when deeper, I think. Does Crooksy.
Yeah.
Though he can play it higher up, I just feel
think he plays equally well wherever he is in the midfield, whether he's deeper as a box to box or more advanced. I think Matt Crooks is just Matt Crooks, and we will miss him. So, and we did miss him on Saturday, but we've got a week now between Bristol City and Chelsea. Then we've got another week between Chelsea and QPR.
It's rare nowadays, isn't it?
That's very rare nowadays, and it's going to be rare for the remainder of the season as well. Let's make those weeks useful. Get players fit, get some players some much needed respite, and forget that Bristol City ever happened.
Yeah. Well, we've got 15 games. If we just get roughly about the same amount of points as we did under Sayers last year in those last 15s, we'll probably still scrape playoffs. Maybe need to get one more win. So the odds are on to us to get top 6. But hopefully the FA Cup we can use that as a sort of, hopefully we don't get absolutely pummeled, because Chelsea have won the last 23 FA Cup games in a row against lower league opposition, and 62 of the last 64. I think the last one they didn't win was when they lost 4-2 at home to Bradford 11 years ago now. So the odds aren't really in our favour.
Was that 11 years ago?
It was 2015. So yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Was that the game?
I think we need to sign up the Squirrel.
Oh, dear.
When was the last time we beat Chelsea, actually? I'm looking now.
I don't know if we have, or at least not since I've been alive.
The last time we beat Chelsea was the 25th of October, 1988 in Division 2. 3-0 win.
I was 3.
Wow.
I was
Dear
3 years
me.
old.
1988. Wow. Well, would you have
The
won
fact
that
that
one?
numbers went that far back.
Hey,
Well, they don't.
hey.
The last time we didn't lose against Chelsea was the 2nd of February 2010 at home in the Premier League. Goals that day were scored by Didier Drogba, who equalised after Stephen Moyakolo gave us the lead.
Moyakolo. That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
It's a name I've never heard, I think.
That's because you're 4 years old.
Yeah. Well, I will be in a few weeks when it's my birthday, yeah. Neil Harding says we'll get Coventry in the playoffs. I mean, the way they're going, they're going to not get playoffs.
They'll drop
Can't
all the
even beat
playoffs full
Oxford.
stop.
Yeah. I will still be watching the Sheffield United Middlesbrough game with interest tomorrow, but ever so slightly less than I would have been if we'd won one of the last 2.
Well, there's an interesting thing coming up next weekend when we're in the Cup. Coventry play Middlesbrough
That's a good one. That's a good one, isn't it?
in the league.
Yeah. I hope they all do a big fight and all headbutt each other.
They
So,
all osmite each other.
Yes. Yes. Just go around in a circle, headbutt, and we can catch up to them. That'd be good. Yeah. Shall we do the predictions? And Will, do you want to show us what happened over the last 2 games?
No, it doesn't.
I believe I know how this goes, and it's very good for one individual.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting week because somebody, everyone's favourite negative bastard, Nathaniel, predicted us to draw with Watford and predicted us to lose to Bristol. Ignore the fact he predicted a 4-4 draw and a 5-0 loss. But it still got him 2 points, whereas every other person didn't get a fucking thing apart from the 1-1 bot who isn't real.
Nothing. Oh.
The 1-1
Which
bot was
means-
correct.
Which means Nathaniel has moved up to only a point behind the top 3. He's only a point behind Anthony. And Joe there, you can see just like squalor further down the gap's getting bigger. He's fighting with the robot.
The bot's catching you up, Joe. Come on, lad.
While me and Christian, we haven't got any points this week, still stay quite far ahead.
I got to
As
keep
if
carrying on.
Nathaniel is the only person to get any points this week.
Well, you see, Nathaniel is in fantastic form because he's got 6. In the last 7 games, he's got 6 points. He's got 6. He's got 6 results correct.
No,
just not perfect.
Get in
Having
there.
just done that, can we get rid of him?
Yeah, no, that's
point?
exactly what I was thinking. Get rid of him. Get him gone now for that. There he is.
So, you're going to have to book your ideas up here, Joe, quite frankly, because...
I am.
I mean,
I had a good
what are you
week
doing?
the other week. I got some points on the
I mean,
board.
the run Nathaniel's on, he'll catch me and Christian up soon. The run he's on.
Yeah, that if anything, yeah, it's a possibility.
Ant needs to be watching out because I think he probably felt comfortable in third place for a bit. And Nathaniel's sneaking up.
What is
This is
going on
fun.
here?
I'm just moving this around. I removed myself,
What
by
is
the
going
way.
on?
I know.
I was just testing how you could do it. For audio listeners, I'm sorry. The last 2 minutes of stuff's been pretty visual based, but it's 202 episodes now. You got to learn. We do this live, and you get to comment in and be mean to us in real time. So, we appreciate all of that. But yeah, I'm very happy. I've just got to continue in the manner I'm doing because. Joe the Triad, it's not working very well, is it? So, yeah, I'm very happy with this. Yes, well, the Chelsea game, that'll be a tough one to predict because, it could be any result except a City win. So,
I was going to say, does the Chelsea game go towards this board?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, of
It's got
course it
to, right?
does.
Yeah.
Yes, but whoever gets it right gets 100 times the amount of points as
The
normal.
block
Right?
game did.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, now I can change the order that we do this in because I can move myself around the screen. Let's put you all back to where you were at the start of the episode. Will, do you want to go first? Or mind you, it's your prediction thing. This is your thing. So do you want to dictate this part? No? Yes? Go on, Will. Go on. You know you want to.
Okay.
Go on.
You've given up on it, have you already?
I gave up 150 episodes ago.
While I would love to go, predicting 1-0 City, easy as. I'm going to be realistic.
So 2-0 City.
3-0 Chelsea. I hope I'm very wrong, but I'm
You know what, Will? I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
But because you've done that, I'm going to have to go 3-1 just to vary it up a little bit.
I
feel bad for predicting us to lose, but
it's Chelsea.
Sometimes you've just got to do it, haven't you?
They've spent £1 billion, and we've spent done it this year.
Nothing.
We've spent nothing. So
we've spent literally not a penny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do like that for some reason this year. Like last year, it was like, oh, look at this team. They've spent so much money and they're, scraping to stay in the league. And this year, we've not spent anything. I mean, McBurney's wages are astronomical, and I will keep bringing that up. It's not really like, if you look at our wage bill, I'm sure it's still fairly high. So, it's not exactly.
It can't be fairly high. We've got wage caps.
Well, we did. I suppose so, but we didn't sell everybody. There'll still be a fair few that are on a big wage, but it might just be McBurney, really. Giles too.
With the Chelsea game, I'm predicting 3-0. I just want somebody, probably Louis Coyle, to just absolutely 2-foot Marcus Cucurella, and I'll be happy.
True. I want someone to 2-foot Garnacho, preferably. I mean, both would be great. But
the amount of stick he got when Chelsea played Lincoln earlier this year, like all four stands were giving him, they were giving him so much shit for no apparent reason, apart from the fact he's Alejandro Garnacho. It was superb to sit and watch.
I mean, he is a thoroughly unlikable footballer.
He is.
He is.
I don't understand
he
what
he's Ronaldo.
To rub anyone in Lincoln up the wrong way, but each to their own.
He thinks he's Ronaldo, and he's not even fucking close.
He's as good as Ronaldo.
He's not even close to current 41-year-old Ronaldo.
Who's on strike?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Christian, what are you going for?
No, I'm in the same boat with my two colleagues here. Though I would absolutely love to predict a lovely score of Hull winning. I'm going to have to go 4-1 to Chelsea.
Not high hopes then. I'm Joe, what did you say? 3-1.
3-1.
All right, 3-1.
Oh, Nathaniel, you've got to pick a win for City. I was going to say, thank fuck.
3-1 City. I think Garnacho is going to get booked for diving twice and get sent off. And we're just going to dominate the ball after that against Rossini. So, it's just what's going to happen.
Going to pens, 1 pen each.
I'll take penalties.
Oh, I'd love penalties.
You take penalties. I'd be too nervous to take a penalty.
Shall we leave it there?
Yes. You like.
If we can get this wrapped up in the next 20 seconds, we'll be under an hour, which is quite rare. So, everyone, bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff.
And we'll see you after Friday.
Up the Tigers. Good night.
Up the Tigers.
Sign that squirrel.